is Crowd Rules. Each week, we'll meet 3 small business owners with vision.
I'm a big dreamer.
Hope.
This is something we're building for our future.
And determination.
I'm at the point right now where I need to expand.
They'll compete for $50,000.
$50,000 can go a really long way for our company.
Hosting each episode, our successful entrepreneur, Kendra Scott.
There's a lot of things that are humongous red flags for me.
Who turned $500 into a fashion brand worth over $50 million. And legendary New York newsman and business anchor, Pat Kiernan.
A small business needs to have a focus, and I'm not sure that you do.
Each week, they'll be joined by a guest expert.
I'm looking at the numbers here. You had the worst profit margin.
Who will go on location to see the promise and problems of each company. But on Crowd Rules, the real power is with the crowd.
As a woman, I'm honestly a little offended by your company.
They are small business owners and savvy consumers, and they will vote to decide who wins the $50,000.
In this room, doesn't matter what we say, because the crowd rules.
Tonight, it's all about specialty food companies. A gourmet pickle store struggling to expand.
We can't ever seem to get enough capital together.
An exotic ice cream business eager to make a name for itself.
We need marketing money. We need people to know that these products are ours.
And an artisan sauce maker trying to blaze a trail for his fiery condiments.
We're doing what we can, but we're far from becoming a household name.
One of these businesses will go home with the $50,000 prize.
Specialty foods is an area where, by definition, small business thrives. And there are all the big food companies, but they're not good necessarily at the type of innovation and creativity and local sourcing that specialty food companies are really good at.
Absolutely. I mean, specialty foods are making up 14% of the retail foods industry, which is a pretty significant number.
3 companies represented here. Let's start with Mr. Green Tea.
My name is Richard Emanuele, president of Mr. Green Tea Ice Cream.
Michael James Emanuele, vice president.
Lori Emanuele, brand manager.
Our company sells high-end, exotically flavored desserts.
Some of the flavors are obviously green tea, red bean, ginger.
It's exotic ice creams to be made for the restaurant trade and now also in pints so that it can be bought at the supermarket.
It's good.
Mr. Green Tea grossed $1.3 million last year and made a profit of $280,000.
This has been a long journey for your company. Tell us about getting here 50 years later.
As the story goes, back in the 60s, my grandfather, Santo Emanuele, was always in the dairy and grocery industry, and he had an entrepreneur mind. He got together with a good friend from New York named Reuben Mattis, and they had this grand idea of coming out with a premium ice cream product, because at the time, there was a void in the market for that. Reuben believed the success would come from peddling this product to supermarkets. My grandfather believed the success and the money would come from peddling it to restaurants. And so they went their separate ways. My grandfather founded Mr. Green Tea Ice Cream, and Reuben Mattis founded Haagen-Dazs.
Wow.
Now you know where the money is.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's no anger there or
absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely
no,
not.
Okay.
So the company stayed relatively small with my grandfather and my Uncle James until a day in August of 2002 when tragically my Uncle James suddenly passed away, and within a year my grandfather followed suit. So my father had to make the decision to hang up his suit and tie, leave the financial industry, and at 50 years old, get on a truck and deliver ice cream and keep the family tradition alive. But that was 11 years ago. Right now, we're extremely strong. We came out with a line of pints for ourselves that are all natural. They're only 5 ingredients, and they're available in the finest retail locations in the tri-state area. And our food service industry and distribution stretches all the way from Miami to Boston.
How is it, all of you working together?
Well,
And you immediately point to Mom.
oh yeah.
Yeah, Mom, how is it?
Well,
The referee.
I'm the ref, basically. It's an interesting dynamic because Rich is very conservative. He has a military background. He likes doing things, according to plan, and that's his mindset. Michael is the young generation. He's passionate. He's fast. He wants it now. He wants, everything done quickly. So they bunk heads constantly, and I'm basically in the middle trying to find some middle ground, and it works.
Can we stop talking for a minute and try the ice cream?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm dying over here. It's right in front of me. It's like I'm
let's get the ice
salivating.
cream out here. The crowd
Yeah,
can...
so tell us, what are we trying here?
Let me tell you what you're trying. That's a green tea ice cream. It's made from 5 different teas from 3 different countries. It's been a secret for 45 years of how we do it.
So good.
You know, it's a signature flavor.
So where do you go with this $50,000
if we were to build a facility so we could consolidate all of our production into one building, our profit margin will greatly increase. We'll take our production team off the road, increase efficiency there. And the fact of the matter is we'll keep a closer eye on our quality control, at the same time injecting an economic boost into this town of Keyport that really could use it.
Well, we enjoyed the ice cream. Good to have you here.
Absolutely. It was delicious, and we really enjoy talking with you and seeing this great family dynamic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's meet Heartbreaking Dawns.
Hey guys, I'm Johnny.
I'm Nicole.
And we're Heartbreaking Dawns. Heartbreaking Dawns has become the tri-state area's premier producer of hot sauce, dry rubs, preserves, and more. A little bit about the history of Heartbreaking Dawns. Spring of 2008, we had a garden. We were growing nothing but hot peppers. Anything that we were cooking, we were whipping up a hot sauce for. A friend of ours suggested taking some of our sauces to a local festival, and Nicole and I looked at each other and we said, we got to start a hot sauce company.
The business is mainly me and Johnny's. However, we do have other family members that definitely have helped us out a lot to get us where we are.
We have heat levels for every consumer. We have ingredient-driven products for every type of use. We're going to continue to grow and get Heartbreaking Dawns as a household name.
Last year, Heartbreaking Dawns grossed $230,000 and finished the year with $5,000 in profit.
Johnny, where's Nicole? Where's your better half?
Yes. Well, my beautiful wife is at home. She's pregnant right now. She's 7 months into a baby girl.
Oh,
which
my
is,
goodness. Congratulations.
And that girl's going to be our best creation to date.
I love it.
And that's what, that's what Heartbreaking Dawns is all about, is we're growing a family, we're growing a business, and this came out of an overlap of everything that we love and that we've been passionate about. I've always loved hot sauce. I've been obsessed with cooking, visual arts, color, fire, flavor, and gardening. And one day we realized, we were like, I can overlap everything that I love into one finished, complete line of products that we could share with the world. That's interactive.
Right.
We've been around we're new. We've been around for a few years now, and we've been able to reinvest all of our revenue into building the ultimate line of fiery food products. That includes not only hot sauce, but chutneys, grilling sauces, dry rubs, and more. We've had multiple awards, and we're available in 14 different countries. Now what we need to do is expose our line of products to the broader demographic of specialty foods as a whole.
So I want to bring the samples out for everybody, but before I dig into one of these, I think we got plenty of questions here from the crowd. Let's start over here on my left side for our first question for one of the businesses.
My question's for Heartbreaking Dawns, and as a CEO of a small consumer foods business as well, you say you're in 14 different countries, but you only did $230,000 in revenue, and I was just curious why that number is so small.
Well, any of our international orders are there through our distributors. There is a very niche market for hot sauce, and that's our first foundation as a business. We do exceptionally well with the 3 main distributors that specialize in fiery foods. We direct all of our international orders to them. We're not at a point where we can ship internationally at reasonable rates. We also don't want to get involved with that headache. I'm about coming up with the recipes and telling people about our products. The more we could nurture our relationship with those distributors, the better. So that's one of our obstacles, while it's also a benefit. And that's the reason those numbers are so small. Is one, the revenue's coming from a distributor level, so the pricing and our margins are much lower. But that's the reason, is we're there, but we're in a very niche market.
Who's got the next question over on this side?
Hi, my question is for Mr. Green Tea. As a CEO of a startup company, I'm always thinking about how our products can appeal to more customers. I noticed you only have 3 flavors that, albeit delicious, are a bit obscure. Do you plan to introduce any more mainstream flavors with broader appeal anytime soon?
Well, actually, we have a line of products that is very immense. But what we showed you today were just the retail products, the green tea, the red bean and ginger. And we do have plans to bring out new ones. Our next flavor in the retail market is going to be chai latte. And the reason we did that is we do a lot of market research through Facebook and Twitter. And when Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts comes out with their chai latte drink every year in the fall to winter season, Facebook and Twitter trends, literally millions of people talking about the chai latte. So we took these flavors that people love and created this unbelievable chai latte ice cream that's going to be available very soon.
Again, they're great stories. Thank you all for being here. You were selected from thousands of submissions. Let's bring some expert insight into our panel. Elizabeth Chambers is a successful news and television correspondent who founded a wildly popular business, the Bird Bakery in San Antonio, a proven expert in specialty foods. Great to have you here.
Welcome,
nice to see
Elizabeth.
you all. And so nice to see you, looking sharp.
You know this lady well, I understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've been out to all these businesses and seen firsthand not only what they're doing in their operations, but also tried the product, talked to the customers.
True. I visited each company at their headquarters to see how these businesses are run. So I want to show you what I found out.
I visited Heartbreaking Dawns in Wyckoff, New Jersey. Their products are sold in stores in 14 countries, but the business is still run out of Johnny and Nicole's house. Heartbreaking really is a company built on Johnny's passion, and I was impressed that the business is debt-free and Johnny and Nicole have retained 100% ownership. But with their first child just months away, the problem is they haven't made any money off the business because they've spent all of their revenue developing a more extensive product line. Actually, too extensive.
First year, we have a chutney and 3 sauces.
We added 3 dry rubs, a jerk blend, a Caribbean, a barbecue, our grilling sauces, our original $14.98 Trinidad scorpion sauce, the ghost pepper, the chocolate habanero, and we launched our soda line as well.
I just have to ask, what does soda have to do with hot sauce? How many products do you think you have?
Let me just count really fast from the top of my head.
I'll spare you the wait. It's 25.
Are customers overwhelmed by all the choices?
Some people.
They're watering down their own brand, and they've sucked their profit reserves dry to do it.
How much do you think you spent last year on new product development?
We've probably spent about $100,000 or so.
This product line expansion needs to stop now. They have 25 products, but 0 full-time employees. Johnny's mom and a few of their friends help out occasionally, but with no full-time staff, Johnny wastes a lot of his time on menial labor.
He's all over the place. We need to bring on some people so Johnny could let go of some of the day-to-day stuff. As this company's growing, you can't be everywhere. He needs to focus on what he does best. Sell it, sell a product, get it into that store.
Wow, 25 products?
Yep, it's about categories. We're building a brand, and in the fiery condiments world, hot sauces have a finite end. We've completed that line. Dry rubs, grilling sauce, and our fiery chutneys are all award-winning products, and they're gateway products. The concept between the past 3 years has been building a line so we have a product as a gateway to every potential customer.
Johnny, I mean, I was behind you. A small business needs to have a focus, and I'm not sure after seeing that I can say that you do.
Well, our focus is fiery condiments and specialty foods.
And
That's
sodas.
why. What?
And soda.
Yeah, I mean, so
it's expensive to develop these new products, though, and that's something that raises concern for somebody who would potentially be investing in your company or for us who are examining your business.
Johnny,
Yes.
again, love the passion, but listen, have you ever heard of a term called over-assorted?
Well,
because I'm a little worried here, okay? Let me just back up. You know, what do you stand for? What is your crown jewel, right? The thing that Heartbreaking Dawns is gonna be known for.
Our hot sauce is our main line and our main product, but in an effort to bridge that gap to a wider area of specialty foods, it's the other products that bring people back to it.
Didn't you spend $100,000 on new product development? You've only got $230,000 in revenue, right?
If they're done with it, if Johnny really is done with it.
Yeah, our business plan was to build my dream line over a 3-year period.
Right.
We've done that. Every product is notable. Every product has received recognition, and they all sell at some level.
Okay.
Percentage of sales, what's What's the biggest?
The $14.98 line, those are our highest percentage of sales. Hot sauce in general makes up 60% of our revenue.
Hot sauce is 60% of the revenue.
60%.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much. Moving on to Mr. Green Tea. I want to show you guys what I found out there.
Desserts are my specialty, so I was very excited to visit Mr. Green Tea Ice Cream on the Jersey Shore. Their flavors are amazing and so very unique. But I was shocked to find out that for over 40 years, they only sold to restaurants. They need to make up for lost time if they want to be a major player in the multi-billion-dollar-a-year pint industry.
Is the full weight of the company behind the pints, or are you still sort of sampling that market?
I'd like to say that we are totally 100% behind it, but there's times when Rich likes to pull back a little bit.
Pulling back is a questionable strategy during your company's make or break moment in a competitive market. A point that was proven when I dropped by one of Mr. Green Tea's retailers.
Do you sell a brand called Mr. Green Tea?
We do carry it, but it looks like that we're sold out, actually. They're a smaller company, so we only can get weekly deliveries from them.
But they're missing out on sales.
Exactly.
Only once a week? This is Manhattan, people. Mr. Green Tea is literally giving shelf space back to their competitors. And a few more thoughts.
They can't just expect to put a product on a shelf and for it to sell itself.
Right.
You need a marketing budget, you need people on the streets, you need people in the stores. That's how you make it happen.
Rich says he wants his ice cream in mouths across America, but he needs to put his money where his mouth is. And I'm not the only one who thinks so.
Michael, he was saying the other day that if we had a board of directors, that we would have voted Rich off the board already.
I feel closed-minded. I don't really have a marketing budget, and that's the biggest issue. We need people to know that these products you've been eating at these incredible restaurants are ours. We got into the pints and into the retail business, and now we need marketing money, we need PR.
I couldn't agree more, but as it turns out, that's not the full story.
When we started the pints, there was a budget for it, and the budget was reached pretty quickly.
So how quickly did he go through that budget?
3 weeks. Michael is the opposite of his father.
How often do they fight? Every day?
They go at it all the time. Yesterday, I think Mike put the crack in the wall there.
Oh boy. Rich and Mike need to get on the same page for the future of this company.
We make ice cream, we deliver ice cream, it gets done, it always gets done. What the company does, it's never an issue. It's the growing part that is constantly being battled back and forth between the two of them. Something's got to happen, something's got to give.
This is the generational divide that so many family businesses deal with. And I don't think that came out when we first met these teams, but you really saw it.
They did talk about her being the referee.
Yeah, Mom is in the middle for a reason,
Lori's
right?
in the middle for a reason.
So, okay, I voted for you guys. You got to help me out here, right? I believe in what you guys are doing. Are you trying to build a brand? Are you trying?
Absolutely.
Well, then I'm asking this because in the restaurant business, and one of the things that was touched on the video, really a lot of times you're not getting any credit, right? You're not on the menus. Nobody knows what they're eating.
Absolutely.
It could be anybody's ice cream.
Absolutely.
In the pint business is where you're going to be able to really put your stance into, here we are, this is Mr. Green Tea.
But the restaurant business is what's paying the bills.
Right now.
For now.
But we've got to put
the sky's the limit.
You know, I think, and the other thing too, you know, and we see this, there's so many small businesses that have a family dynamic that are similar to this, that are watching this right now, shaking their heads going, oh my gosh, that's us. But what it is that you've got to have alignment. And I think before you can even move forward, you got to figure out where is it we want to go, even if that's 3 years out, something that's within your grasp to understand. And you got to get aligned as a family to say, this is what we're going to do. And then you can develop the roadmap to get there.
Richard, I want you to take me through the ownership and the transition. Who owns the company now?
I own the company.
100%?
100%.
Is the thought that Mike gets a small portion of the company? Does he wait till you retire? What happens there?
No, not at all. You know, I'm a firm believer that you start from the bottom. You know, I want him to see what it took to build a brand, okay? And how long it takes. It takes a long time, in my opinion.
Michael, how does this sit with you?
It's something that we butt heads about a lot. I've been there for 4 years. The pints were something that I took under my, obviously with the funding from the other side of the company, under my own wing and launched, obviously with the good graces of the company and the help with everyone. And I think, like he said, I did my time on the trucks. I did my time in the freezers. I built the website, everything. And I think at this point, I agree with him. Yeah, I had to do all those things before I get a portion of the company, but I think it's time
And
now.
it's really time now to get into the details of what you would do with $50,000. Johnny, since you're the crowd favorite at the moment, let's get specific here. How would you use this money?
$50,000 can go a really long way for our company. Our product has very wide margins between cost to distributor to wholesale to retail. So there's a lot of wiggle room for us to utilize that in other areas. Budgeting about $10,000 to get out of the dining room and basement, make room for our kid who's coming, and get into an office and warehouse space. Allocating about $10,000 to start up a commission-based team to go out and gain sales and new customers for us. Putting about 10 grand into the fancy food show, which is where we need to be. We need to do that because we're growing a family, we're growing a business. I'm passionate about all of this. I love everything I do. I love these products. I love my wife, my kid, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, I want to give you, here's a calculator. Here's a calculator. I want you to own the numbers from now on.
Thank you.
No, but I mean,
numbers are done.
No, I feel like you need to know. You need to know what you're making on each product right now.
Well, I could tell you. I could give you any of those numbers.
Really?
Yeah, without a doubt. To give you an example, our 3 original hot sauces, we're priced for unit where our cost, distributor, wholesale, and retail. A case of 12 sauces cost us roughly $12 to $13.
That's your manufacturing cost. It's like your marketing.
That's finished product. The distributor is going to pay $26 for that case, $24 to $26 depending on quantity. They're in turn going to sell it to the retailer. They pay $36. It's $3 a bottle. That retailer doubles it. It ends up being $5.99. That's the pricing structure of our 3 main sauces, and that's a formula we use.
I think he knows his numbers.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, I can tell you that on any product we know, without a doubt.
That's a good foundation. Mr. Green Tea, what would you do with $50,000? How would that help your business immediately?
It's really funny, and Elizabeth, I have to thank you, because about 25 minutes ago, my father leaned over to me, he covered his microphone, and said something for the first time I don't think I've ever heard him say. He goes, "You're right." He goes, "You're right. We need a true, substantial marketing budget." Listen, everyone in this audience is here because they're business people and they understand business. And when you're talking about crowdfunding and when you're talking about funding, you want to look at tangible results. And here are the facts. If you vote for us and Mr. Green Tea wins his $50,000, you will see chai latte on the shelves of the stores that we're currently in as soon as possible. Okay, we will use that $50,000 to pay the slotting fees and to push the product into demos and in this groundwork that we already laid out.
Richard,
and those
do you
are
agree
the
with
business facts.
I do. Well, I realize that we need real estate on the shelves. I realize that.
I'm seeing alignment.
I love this.
Our flavors.
So you're really, your goal, if I want to make sure I understand, with this $50,000 is to build a brand. And you're going to build this brand through the pint business.
Correct.
Not ignoring your great restaurant business, which is a great cash flow source, right? But you're building a brand. And Dad and Mom, Mike, you guys are aligned, and that's where you're headed.
Yep.
Is that
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, 100%.
Give me the parallel numbers to what Johnny was sharing.
We manufacture a pint or a sleeve of pints. So pints are sold in a sleeve. That's a gallon. So there's 8 pints in a cardboard sleeve. We manufacture it. Our cost is probably about $8.93. We sell that to a distributor for $21.04. That $21.04 is a very good market price, and not well under, but under some of the mainstream.
And then at retail, that product goes for what?
$4.99 to $5.49.
Correct.
That's typical. That's where your competitors are.
That's where we want to be, right?
Your financial cases have been made. When we come back, you'll have one more chance to sway the crowd and win their hearts.
For game-changing advice on how to build a successful business.
Tonight, it's all about the specialty food business. We just found out how the companies are going to use the money if we rule in their favor. Mr. Green Tea will use that $50,000 to launch a new flavor, to putting it on the shelves. Heartbreaking Dawns will use this $50,000 to move the business out of their home. Heartbreaking Dawns in the lead by a count of 49 to 34.
Our 2 companies, you've come a long way, but you have one opportunity left to make your final plea to our audience.
Heartbreaking Dawns, you have 30 seconds.
Heartbreaking Dawns, as you can see, has become my life's work. You're all a part of the journey right now. Every one of you is a part of the journey of this company. You have the chance tonight to have a huge impact on believing in what we do and giving us the chance to get to the next level. I want you to put your trust in Heartbreaking Dawns. I want you to put your faith into me. And let's make this happen, because you're all on our team now, and you're part of the Heartbreaking Dawns family. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Johnny. Mr. Greentea, you've got some ground to make up.
We do.
You have 30 seconds.
When you look at the current food market trends in the industry, everything's about clean labeling and all natural and artificial hormone-free, and we have all these things. We have trendy flavors. There's no maybes here. If you invest in Mr. Green Tea, we're telling you what we're gonna do. We're going to get our 4th flavor chai latte onto the shelves. We're going to let people know that it's there. And most importantly, we're going to continue realizing my grandfather and uncle's dream of keeping Mr. Green Tea
Time's up.
in the family.
Thank you. There you have it. It is time for our final vote. We need to decide now which one of you truly deserves the money. The crowd is here. The crowd is ready to rule.
This is it.
Let's vote.
Specialty foods. Our companies, our 2 remaining companies, have come such a long way to win this $50,000 for your businesses. You've shared with us your profits, your passion. Now it's time to see how the crowd voted.
First, I will reveal my vote. I voted for Mr. Greentea. I think you have a family alignment now. You understand where there's an opportunity, and you understand the power of the brand, and I wanted to put my vote behind that.
Absolutely, and I have to agree with Pat. I love your passion, love it. But wow, what a long way you've come in just this short time, standing on this stage. I mean, to see this alignment happening, to see that you guys are really looking forward in the same direction, is just so promising. I think you have an incredible future ahead of you, and I'm excited to say that I voted for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Johnny, I think you guys are going to do incredibly well. I think that I believe in your company. I just don't know that the infrastructure is in place to best utilize the $50,000. So for that reason, I also voted for Mr. Greentea. I think you guys really took our advice. You're making changes, and I can just even see it in the communication, the difference in the communication between the 3 of you now, as opposed to when I came to visit you for the first time.
What makes this show different, of course, is that we're only 3 votes.
Yeah, 3. There's 97 more.
Exactly.
97 votes still to be reported. Companies, are you ready to find out how the crowd voted?
We are.
Let's see how the crowd ruled. $67% of the vote goes to Heartbreaking Dawns. Johnny, congratulations. Johnny, this is proof that in this room, doesn't matter what we say because the crowd rules.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.